This is Weather or Not.
And welcome into Weather or Not on this chilly Friday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold.
And I'm meteorologist Andrew Dockery. Obviously a busy week as we look ahead to Thanksgiving, but let's talk about the three things before we even get into the weekend.
Yeah, we are talking about that chill that's going to kind of linger. That lingering breeze going to stay with us as well, and still not done with that snow in the North Carolina mountains just yet.
Yeah, they keep holding on to a northwest wind, kind of keeping some snow around, even up into portions of West Virginia and the Northeast. I can't wait to take you there.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. And we're also gradually getting a slightly better picture on that Thanksgiving forecast, things sort of coming into focus in the meteorological crystal ball.
Yeah, so let's, I guess, start with that local cold, shall we? And we'll give you the first alert as we do so. You'll notice that cold blast of air setting up, and it's not only for us, basically the entire East Coast dealing with the wind chill and the cold.
Yeah, sort of a big bowling ball of cold air across the eastern half of the U.S. Big upper level low in the upper atmosphere, just kind of spinning around. That's got that cold air with it. It also has that moisture with it that's bringing that snow to our neighbors to the north. For us, well, we're just sort of on the not extreme side of the chill, but certainly on the cool side. And once again, overnight tonight, most areas will be down into the 30s. We'll see low 40s near the beaches. One difference overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, though, the breeze finally starts to ease up.
And as that breeze eases up, we'll look for the potential for some frost. We'll even continue that potential as we go into Sunday. Some of the new data that's been coming in today pointing maybe to those low to mid 40s. I still think just how it's been adding up, models have kind of been a little too warm. So it would not shock me to see another round of some widespread frost as we go into Sunday for inland areas.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing about this weekend is while the nights and early mornings are chilly, daytime temperatures actually start to warm up. Notice heading into Saturday, we're a degree or two either side of that 60-degree mark, and a lot of holiday themed action going on this weekend.
How about that? Santa's coming over to Taco Mundo, not to mention Coastal Carolina, the football game. The Myrtle Beach Invitational kicked off this week. That's that basketball tournament there at CCU with 8 teams. And yeah, how about photos with Santa at Costa Grand Mall? Jamie, you can go sit on Santa's lap for Saturday.
Absolutely. I got a lot to wish for. Let's take you into Sunday. And again, a lot more events going on. We've got the Glow and Gather Fireside Experience, holiday movies under the stars, the Elton John tribute show. And if you're going to be partaking in one of those outdoor activities, notice Sunday's temperatures start to warm up a bit. We'll make our way into the low to mid 60s, but let's talk about
here we go.
Wind and the cold and the snow. I cannot stop watching the webcams out of North Carolina.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take you to one of my favorite moments that I was watching this morning. I think I watched more of Boone than I did the forecast this morning. It looked awesome, and you would get the heavier bands coming in. The snow plows did a great job at keeping the roads drivable, and that was kind of the lingering story for the morning, and going to be the lingering story, like we said, for tonight, and even into portions of Saturday morning as well.
They're actually going to get another burst of snow that comes through, likely a little bit later today, so they'll add a bit more. Some of the higher totals I've seen so far, between about 4 and 6 inches up there across the ski resorts, and they're still going to get a little bit more.
And with some of the warmer ground, the best part about it is we're also looking at those temperatures, able to kind of keep the roads a little bit more of a slush, which always helps out. All right, let's talk about the big story here, and that's next week. We're looking ahead, giving you the first alert to Thanksgiving. We told you this week it was a tricky forecast. Still some tricks to it, but at least a little bit more alignment coming in. Let's take a look at the models here. The Euro and GFS both agree now that the rain holds off for the most part until Thanksgiving night. They're also a little bit warmer. Keep in mind, that doesn't mean it's a slam dunk. The forecast will certainly still change as we go to this. And I think the big story here is as we show you that Thanksgiving Day forecast, when does the cold air arrive? We've tweaked it a little bit. 70s on Thanksgiving. Rain comes in as we go into the night. And then, Jamie, if that air is cold enough, 50s for Black Friday, even colder maybe for the following weekend.
Yeah, and that's the thing we've been sort of trying to iron out. We've known for a few days that there was going to be some mighty chilly air nearby. It's just been a matter of timing when it decides to finally work its way into the Carolinas. Now getting more and more consensus that it comes after Thanksgiving. So those of you maybe out putting the Christmas tree and the Christmas lights up the weekend after Thanksgiving, may definitely have that holiday feel as that chill starts to move in.
It's certainly going to feel like Christmas, no doubt about it by that point. Let's talk about another big story. Obviously, we're looking ahead to that system, but there's also going to be a cold front that comes through and impacts some travel as we go into the early portion of the week.
Yeah, going to be kind of an active forecast as we head through the Thanksgiving week. This is Wednesday, and notice as we run it through the day, if you're catching a flight maybe out to Denver, could be some issues there with snow coming down, especially on Wednesday. We'll notice rain and potentially even some wintry mix, some ice trying to sneak its way into parts of the Midwest. Notice we stay dry across the Carolinas and most of the East Coast for Wednesday, but turning milder and also turning cloudy. And then as we advance into Thanksgiving Day, you can see that rainmaker starting to push its way to the east. And as Andrew was mentioning, likely going to start to see our rain chances increasing as we head into Thanksgiving night, potentially lasting into early on Black Friday. But I think most of the country, as far as travel goes, on Wednesday is probably going to be fairly okay. Let's talk about what's going on if you are going to be traveling across the Carolinas, my hometown, the beautiful Queen City of Charlotte. And you can see kind of a cool stretch there, and they're likely going to be pretty wet for Thanksgiving. And then we'll see those much cooler temperatures. Look at Saturday, 47 degrees.
Yeah, let's go a little bit to the east here. As we go over to Raleigh, you'll notice once again some numerous showers on Thanksgiving. Once again, Wednesday looks fine. It's Thanksgiving later in the day there with some scattered showers as we head into Black Friday. Temperatures behind that in the 40s for Saturday.
Yeah, how about those 20s? Going up Friday night into Saturday up there in Raleigh. Let's take you way north. We'll go to the Big Apple. New York City could be rather wet for that Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, and cool temperatures into the 40s, maybe ending as a little bit of wet snow heading into Friday, depending on how that system pans out. And by Saturday, high temperatures only at 40.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. A special place in my heart. Some numerous showers going to be moving through, and even a mix of some snow here as we go into Thanksgiving night, Black Friday morning. Some snow, wintry mix. You'll notice temperatures dipping down into the mid-20s for Friday night into Saturday morning, and then things improving as that system pulls out as we go into Saturday and Sunday for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, could be some of those travel issues there, especially Thursday and into Friday. Let's take you to Cleveland. Also some potential travel issues showing up for Thanksgiving Day into Black Friday into the following Saturday as the weather transitions to a colder spell, but also lingering moisture likely means some rain and snow showers and snow squalls maybe blowing in off the lake there in Cleveland. High temperatures only into the 30s, nights down into the 20s and 30s. And as we head out to Denver, beautiful Denver. I don't know about flying in there Wednesday.
I was about to say Wednesday's going to be tough, and you mentioned that low pressure system kind of originates there and then works its way as we get into the forecast. Gets out of there in time for Thanksgiving with an isolated shower in the morning. Then the weekend looks great. How about the teens though?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving night into Black Friday, especially for those planning to Black Friday shop out to the west. All right, let's take you coast to coast. Let's do our temperature extremes. And I did a little research here, Jamie, because I felt so bad.
All right.
Every time we bring up Peter Sinks, I have nothing to say for it. 5 below.
5 below,
Why
all right.
It is so cold. It is a natural occurring sinkhole in Peter Sinks, Utah. Second coldest temperature in the United States recorded in Peter Sinks back in the 70s.
Minus 40, minus
It was
36
minus 67
for the actual temperature.
for the
Peter Sinks.
For Peter Sinks. So
Learn
it
something new
obviously
every day.
runs colder when they put a temperature or thermometer down there.
Oftentimes in the weather community called a cold air sink.
And
Makes
now
sense.
It now
Cold
makes
air
sense.
drains down into the
There's
valleys.
literally nothing in Peter Sinks.
Except a lot of cold. A lot of cold. Contrast that to Catalina foothills there in Arizona, all the way up to 88 degrees yesterday. Let's talk about Saturday, and things will be tapering off and turning quieter across the deep south. Some leftover clouds, maybe a morning flurry there in the North Carolina mountains into West Virginia. Overall, though, a clearing trend in those areas that have been picking up the snow. Nothing but sunshine, though, for the rest of the Carolinas through the rest of the deep south and down into Florida.
Yeah, temperature is not that bad, especially where we'll start to warm up. The cold front still seeing the impacts of it. 62 there in Charleston, 62 in Savannah, 70 still in Florida thanks to that system, but we'll gradually warm up as we head into the weekend. Let's take it to the northeast where the weather, Jamie, been a little bit more active for the past couple of days.
Yeah, it certainly has. The system responsible for the rain and the snow yesterday and today, pulling its way out over the Atlantic Ocean. Still going to be a little bit on the gloomy side there across the Northeast, though, in the wake of that system. Skies will be mostly cloudy, but even here we are going to see those temperatures starting to moderate. Places that we're seeing snow this morning, well, going to be back up into the 40s.
Yeah, 40s coming in. Also seeing some 30s there. The mountaintop still going to hold on to some 30s for tomorrow, but gradually warming up, especially when sunshine comes back for the end of the week. Snooze alert. Let's go out to the Midwest. There's nothing. We get the clouds finally clearing out across portions of Illinois, Iowa, Missouri. That will bring back sunshine for Saturday. Temperatures struggling early on with the cloud cover, but eventually starting to see some signs of some warmer weather. We'll look at 57 there in Lincoln, Nebraska. Still holding on, though, to the 40s, and how about even the 20s up there as you go into the Dakotas?
Why not? Why not? 22 degrees. That's the next surge, little finger of cold air that's going to sweep its way south and east as we head through the next couple of days, just starting to show up. Out to the southwest again, it is a snooze fest. Not real surprising here. Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, into New Mexico, Arizona, all looking pretty quiet. A couple of high clouds sneaking into Southern California. Otherwise, yeah, boring.
Yeah, boring weather. High pressure continues to dominate, like you said. Temperatures sitting in the 70s. We do have some 80s mixed in. And yeah, I would say once again, if we were doing that whether or not show, the 80s down there in Texas would be one of the warm spots for our temperature extremes for Saturday. All right, let's take you once again where that low pressure system, or what you've probably heard, the bomb cyclone, as we explained in yesterday's show, starting to slowly weaken. And as it does so, you'll notice still some snow for the higher elevations, especially there in the mountains of California. Look too, when we show the temperatures here, what that looks like. Some of the temperature profiles, a little bit of everything over there in the West Coast, Jamie.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Notice that little finger of blue going right down through eastern California. That's the Sierra Nevada mountains, where they have picked up some big time snow, a couple of feet over the past couple of days. Same thing up into the Cascades there in between Seattle and Spokane. Things will wind down a bit, though. Going to stay a little bit on the showery side. Some rain showers down in the valleys, some snow showers up in the mountains, but overall, nothing too out of the ordinary here for the Pacific Northwest.
All right, there's your coast to coast. Let's go today in weather history. This one's a fun one that I thought when I was getting the show together, I saw you made this.
Yeah.
A good reminder that the end is near.
The end is near. Yeah, the latest hurricane landfall on record, Hurricane Kate, back in 1985. The interesting thing about Hurricane Kate, not only was it the latest hurricane landfall in the U.S. on record, but it took kind of a very common track that Florida Panhandle hurricanes take, which is into the Florida Panhandle, making that bend off to the northeast, and they end up in the Carolinas.
And this is exactly how you got it. Here's a look at that track Jamie was talking about. Look at some of the winds, too. Category 3 hurricane coming in here as we go into the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, made landfall near Tallahassee and Mexico Beach. 90% of Tallahassee was without power following Hurricane Kate, and then 50-mile-per-hour gusts all the way into Charleston, 45-mile-per-hour gusts in the Grand Strand. A little bit of rain, but certainly interesting to think about tropical storm conditions in the Grand Strand couple days before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, as we count down toward the official end of hurricane season, we'll keep you posted on that. Things looking great for us. All right, you ready for our favorite time to
Absolutely.
end the week? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Cheers.
Let's take you to our Friday happy hour segment, and I love this one. Jamie asked for it. We're serving up our first story. How about snow coming down, the first snow of the season for many.
And this was that really kind of pretty snow that just clobbers to everything, sticks to everything, thick and heavy and wet. I don't know how to pronounce it. Merrimack?
That's why I didn't say it, because I wanted you to take a step. Merrimack sounds correct. It's just north of the Bronx, close to New York there, and the border with Connecticut.
And Pittsburgh, yeah, big fat flakes and that wet snow. Again, it's not that middle of January snow that's bitter cold and dry and blows around. It's that wet and heavy snow, and it really added up into parts of New Jersey, central New York, central Pennsylvania.
It is beautiful to see. Another thing that was beautiful to see is I was watching my Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
And that brings us in. You said Pittsburgh. Let's take it to Cleveland, though, because the game, watching some lake effect snow from this system, started out nice and calm, then eventually Yeah, the snow started to come down, and it came down in tremendous amounts toward the end of the game. It got so bad watching the game, and unfortunately we lost. So this was a nice change of pace for me. You couldn't even see them kick field goals.
Look at that.
That was happening there in Cleveland. Let's also take you, though, to Green Bay. Lambeau Field heating up the field because it's been so cold. It's a complete 180 here.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, they can heat it up apparently to help melt the snowpack.
Melt the snow.
I guess when you have that much snow,
right,
you have to do something like that. So yeah, kudos to them as they get ready for their game on Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers. All right, it's our favorite, well, one of our favorite times. We love
Thanksgiving.
Christmas. Thanksgiving. How about a Thanksgiving pizza?
Okay.
Thanksgiving pizza. A pizza restaurant in Dallas, Texas is offering this month exclusively. Motor City Pizza tops the pie with roasted turkey, dressing, green beans, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce, fried onion, and a drizzle of gravy. The owner says everything is cooked from scratch, and if it becomes popular, he's willing to keep it on the menu. What are your thoughts on this Thanksgiving feast pizza?
Serve me up a
You like
slice.
it? And I wonder what the crust is, too.
Hopefully, like, it tastes like a roll.
That's what I'm
like
thinking.
a dinner roll.
Like if you could give me like a Sister Schubert crust. I'm in.
I'm all for it. And I'm not normally, I don't want all of my foods on the plate mixed up, but the idea of it on a pizza might be all right. Leave the cranberry off.
Yeah, that was the only one for me where I was like, I don't know how that would be.
Yeah, but the rest of it, absolutely, especially with that gravy.
Savory too. Ooh, and if it's popular, I wonder too, because they do frozen pizzas.
All right.
If maybe it'll be a nationwide thing.
And it's a good idea for leftovers.
Yeah,
I might be making a pizza one day next week.
Send us a picture for sure. Speaking of pictures, let's go to our favorite photo of the week. One of our favorites coming in from Robin Hendricks. We showed you this one. I love it when you can see Pier 14 there, the moonrise coming over there. That was the full beaver moon rising over Pier 14. And I think you described this as simply South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, and this is also the time of the year where the shrimp boats are really active. Every night when I'm here working and the sun goes down, I check out the cameras down on the beach, and you can see the shrimp boats, and they're lit up, and the sun is setting, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And you can see that shrimp boat there off in the distance.
Yeah, I love it. Want to remind you, you can always send your photos to us by See It, Snap It, Send It. You see it, take a picture of it. You can scan this QR code, and that will download the First Alert weather app. At the bottom of the app there's a place to submit your favorite photos. It's been a fun week. Want to remind you, next week we will not be doing Whether or Not.
Yes.
Spend some time with your friends, with your families. Enjoy Thanksgiving. And if you don't eat 4 courses over the course of Thanksgiving, you didn't do it right.
You didn't do it right. Also, don't forget December 6th, Friday, December 6th,
Yes.
live taping of Are You Serious?
Yeah, can't wait for that. That's going to be at 7 p.m. at Grand Strand Brewing.
Yes.
If you have any questions, find us on social media, and we have a lot of fun things planned for that.
Yeah, that'll do it. Have a great weekend. We will see you following Thanksgiving here on Whether or Not.